fucking Sunday
What?
is a fucking
Oh my
damn
God,
fucking
Meta,
coward.
please.
No. SDL, fuck this. I've seen half a dozen Sunday dramas, and every single one of them is him acting fucking better than every single person that he's fucking talking to, yawning, whining, saying, "Oh, you called me. What do you want to talk about?" And within fucking 8 minutes, he leaves. I get that it's a fucking meme at this point, but it's actually like, why the fuck is this guy invited to fucking anything?
Okay, welcome to Food for Thought. I'm your host, Food Chops. My panels are based around what I love about Twitch politics, the combination of personalities clashing, intellectual debates, and blood sports, drawing inspiration from the old days of forum debates to the current days of discourse. All right, so today's panel is going to be about Israel and Palestine. To give a very brief history, on May 14, 1948, the Israeli Declaration of Independence was proclaimed by David Ben-Gurion, the executive head of the World Zionist Organization, soon to be the first prime minister of Israel. Following much fighting, factions forming, and breaking between many Palestine-aligned and Zionist-aligned factions, it ultimately culminated eventually in the infamous 1967 Six-Day War, where Israel gained military control of the West Bank from Jordan and the Gaza Strip from Egypt. Right now, the dominant militant political force in Palestine is Hamas, while the Palestinian National Authority exercises partial control over the West Bank as a consequence of the Oslo Accords. Here's how the panel will go. We will have our first wave of panelists, these lovely fellows here. It is my hope that they will stay for at least 1.5 to 2 hours. But, you know, they are free to leave at any time if they need to, or stay longer if they want to. People who are in the weight room down there in the hall will be dragged in at my discretion, either after somebody leaves the panel and or at my discretion. Like I said before, sorry. If you would like to join the weight room, you can join the Discord server found by typing !Discord in my chat found at youtube.com/@foodchops or kick.com/foodchops. If I do not drag you in, then I have either missed you or there are simply too many people, which typically does happen, or I keep a certain number to keep the flow of conversation going. But typically, I am very generous with who and how I drag people in. However, that generosity comes at a price. If I find you annoying or disrespecting me even a little bit, I can mute you or simply kick you out of the room for the rest of the night. When I am talking, nobody else must talk, okay? So if you have been quiet for a significantly extended duration of time on the panel, I might also kick you without warning just to reduce clutter on the screen. But sometimes, if I'm feeling generous, I will send you a DM to speak up as a warning. Unfortunately, due to how long the panel is, I might also have very rare internet hiccups. If I somehow suddenly disappear or stream crashes, the flow of the conversation must continue, and you guys must keep talking. After all, there are probably multiple streams going on in there anyway. I'll probably ask a moderator of mine just to keep the dragons and drag out smooth. My moderators will be Yoon, Emma Rosen, and Ratera, the only 3 people who are qualified to drag in, drag out people, may step in at any moment in the debate to take over moderation when I'm gone. That will be all. Okay, thank you. We will now go over every single first waiver here and introduce them all, as well as their brief 30-second broad position. We will start with, a first timer on this panel. Counterpoints, introduce yourself.
Hi, my name's Connor. I run a YouTube channel named Counterpoints. In reference to the topic at hand, I think Israeli settlement is fucked up. I think what Hamas did is more fucked up. I think that it's a slow-rolling genocide that is going to result in Israel controlling Gaza, and basically we need to avoid the humanitarian crisis and as many dead bodies as possible while still basically avenging the terrorist attacks that happened within the past week. I can get into more detail, but I know we got a lot of people who are waiting to participate.
Okay, awesome. Fabian, Liberty, Scott, go.
So I'm Fabian Liberty, anarcho-capitalist. You can find me on YouTube or Rumble, or, find my booker, wink, wink, on Twitter. In terms of the position, oh God, I don't even know what I'm going to do in like 10 seconds of saying. I think most people don't understand the history of the of the conflict. They really don't understand what's going on. There's a lot of propaganda that people are eating up on both sides. I hate to be a both sideser in this situation, but like, fuck the state of Israel, but fuck Hamas like 10 times more. And I guess like we'll get into more of that. I mean, yeah, I'll just leave it at that, I guess.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. All right. Lauren De Laguna. Go.
As a Jewish person, I feel obviously a strong alignment for Israel because it's the only homeland for my people. It was created in the wake of the Holocaust. But during its creation, faced the Six-Day War. And so that being said, I have always been pro-Israel. I still am. Uh, that being said, I have been following some of, Israel's leadership on Twitter and various other sites, and I'm watching some of the just lies that they're putting out, and so it's making it extremely difficult to support one side when I don't feel like I'm getting a very good, accurate. I don't have a fair media. There's no media I can trust, and so that I can actually say that I know what is going on for real in Israel, which is why I haven't been talking about it on Twitter and I haven't been talking about it at all. So very similar to the first two people who spoke. I'm feeling a very strong both sidesism right now. But a very strong hatred towards Hamas, obviously, because I believe that they're a terrorist organization. But I have prayers and thoughts going to Israeli people and prayers and thoughts going to the Palestinian people, especially because a lot of them are children. And that's it.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. All right. Loner Box. Go.
First of all, fuck Hamas and all the white, privileged, soy guzzling retards who think it's a good idea to support them or who buy into this propaganda that they are like freedom fighters whilst they live in luxury in Doha and send their own people to die and like hide behind civilian infrastructure. That said, God, it's like I feel weird debating about what should happen now because it's kind of inevitable. Israel is going to launch a ground invasion into Gaza. We can already tell that they are operating on maybe a bit more emotion than sensibility, that they're using food and water as bargaining chips for hostages, that they might very well have used white phosphorus already. We don't know if they're going to manage a ground invasion. Ground invasion in somewhere like Gaza is going to be far more deadly than the airstrikes have been. It could lead to them getting stuck there whilst Hezbollah comes in from the north. I don't know. I guess we'll get into it in the panel. We'll see where it goes.
Awesome. Thank you, Loner Box. All right. President Sunday. Go.
Hamas is not the Palestinian people. And what is taking place in Israel right now on Gaza is unequivocally an act of genocide, and everybody who carries water for it is going to be shamed in a few years.
Okay. Thank you. Quibbles over coffee. Go.
Yeah, so I think that there's sort of two different directions this conversation can go. One conversation is sort of just to sort of play the blame game and try to figure out sort of how we got to the point that we're at. The other question that we can sort of potentially move the conversation is right now we're at like a sort of a 10 in terms of like the level of intensity that we're at. There's a lot of ways to get from a 10 up to an 11 or even up to a 15. There's very few ways I can think of that we can get down to like a 9.5. The most obvious one is what Iran and what Hamas was trying to avoid by having this attack happen in the first place, which is to say to get peace between Saudi Arabia and Israel. I think that trying to get that to happen is really, really important, even more important now than it was a week and a half ago.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you, Quibbles. All right. SDL, Socked on Left. Go.
What Hamas did was terrorist and extremely stupid and is going to end up hurting the Palestinian people in an extreme degree. What Israel is doing in response to the war crimes by Hamas is war crimes on an even greater scale. It's ethnic cleansing. If we saw it in any other country, we would call it that. Israel has killed more than 2,000 people. They have injured around 10,000 people. They've destroyed 10,000 housing units. They've displaced over 1 million people. It's gotten so bad that the UN lost exact count of how many people were displaced. They forced 1.1 million people to try and leave their homes in less than 24 hours. Yeah, this is ethnic cleansing.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. All right. Smef, go.
Hamas is a terrorist organization. Israel is an ethno-state built on occupied land. Gaza is a concentration camp. Quibbles with Copy once told me that about atrocities that the Jews had committed during the Holocaust, and I told him that it was understandable given the context, but it's still never acceptable. There's no good guy in the Israel-Palestine conflict. Both sides believe they have a God-given right to a holy land, but rights are given by governments, not by God. The only way for them to express these rights is to forcibly seize control. They believe they're not equals to one another, and that the rights of one must come at the expense of the other. This is an illusion. Nobody actually needs an ethno-state to survive. Ethno-states are wrong, and if your culture requires an ethno-state in order for it to continue, what is the alternative? The alternative is that your culture is absorbed into the multicultural world that we are all a part of, and it will slowly disappear as a distinct entity. If you live in America, I'm proud to say you will become an American. I myself am a third-generation Greek immigrant, but I have virtually no connection to Greek culture at all. Greek culture is slowly but surely disappearing as the world becomes more culturally enmeshed. Does this make me want to return to my homeland or create an ethno-state? No, I am proud to be an American.
Okay.
I was prepared to play on the guitar and sing "This land is your land, this land is my land," but with some of the lyrics changed to be Israel-Palestine related.
Cool.
Oh, okay, cool. Thank you, Smeth. All right. That brings us to our first subtopic. All right. So our first subtopic is this. Many pro-Palestinians base their arguments on the right of land based on historical context. On the other side, pro-Israelians base their arguments based on the right of Zionist principles and God-given land arguments. Do you support a no-state, one-state, two-state, or three-state solution? If you're guiding the masses of the people, what would you do to minimize losses? According to the background above, who has the right to the Holy Lands? How might they be divided up, if at all? Who has better reasoning? Discuss.
Well, I think the question is about 100 years out of date. We're not talking about any of the people who either made the initial colonization effort, and we're not talking about anybody who was alive at the time that was taking place. At this point, we're dealing with a population that has now been there for several generations, and another population that has been systematically displaced for that length of time as well. I think I don't know if you can even have a two-state solution at this juncture, principally because any two-state solution that would actually arise would not be a two-state solution in fact, but would be some kind of subject principality or just sort of zone that has perhaps some level of autonomy, but will fundamentally be subject to the more powerful Israeli state neighboring it. It would be extremely dangerous to erect an actual sovereign state with that level of just resentment within Israel's current borders. And at this juncture, given that we're on the precipice of a more or less total genocide of the population of Gaza or something, at the very least approximating there too, I don't see much hope for any positive thing at this juncture. It's just lesser degrees of catastrophe.
Yeah, I don't think any state solution makes any sense. Like the only thing I can think of, what should NATO do? I think NATO should remove any citizens that don't want to be part of the Holy War, especially in
Please clarify.
the place next to Israel, Jared, and because people there are being rounded up to fight in the war, and if they don't, then their family's being killed. And I'm sure a lot of those people don't want to fight, but 5 years from now, once they've already been fighting, they're going to have friends that are killed, and it's going to be even more of a holy war, and more people will be sucked into the hatred and cycle of violence. So I think that we should be I think we should be evacuating people who don't want to fight in the holy war.
That's not the topic. Like it's a
subtopic solution. I'm okay with that.
This is a solution. That is clarify. The question. That is an answer. I don't think that. I don't know what agreement that Israel and Palestine can have that makes sense to me. I don't know enough about it, but one thing that I do think would help is to remove people who don't want to get involved from being sucked into a war they don't want to fight.
Okay, so you're just saying that refugees should be allowed to leave the location.
Yeah, back in
You're saying that refugees should be like accepted into Europe, that refugees should be accepted
into the United States.
Yeah, refugees should be
Okay.
accepted into Israel,
not-
right? Because Israel respects the international right to accept
Your answer is
refugees on
just
any border, right?
Angela Merkel 2.0. Like I don't like what the fuck is this? Like,
think that
how
if
is this
you're-
answering the question?
No, I think Jordan. Currently, I have people in my life who have relatives.
Jordan does
in
not
Jordan-
fucking want Palestinian Arabs. Not since Black September.
No, that's
right?
not
Like-
what I was saying. No, I don't think you're listening. I think you're interested in something other than listening. I think that I know that in Jordan they were rounding people up to fight in a war, and a lot of these people don't want to fight. And if you say no, I have close people who are close to me who have family that has been murdered because they don't want to fight and they tried to leave. So I think if NATO wants to do something to lower the costs of the war, we should help people in Jordan escape without being forced to
I think that
fight in a
if
holy
you're talking
war.
about the-
Dude,
if
this
you're
is
talking
just a
about the
virtue
broad
signal. It doesn't
right
answer the question
It's
of like,
not a
what
virtue
state
signal.
solution should we
It is
do,
kind of.
and or
I
who
just told
has
you
the
I
greatest
don't have
right
a
to the
state.
land. Well, if
Nobody
you don't have an
okay,
answer to the
nobody
question,
has a
then
great.
don't
okay,
speak up.
I already told you that I don't think in my opening statement, nobody has a fucking right to the land. Nobody has a right to the land. They need to fucking
That's not
agree. They're
true.
all fucking human
not
beings.
true.
I don't agree.
That's not true.
I think
that
it is
nobody has the
true.
right
I
to
think
the
it is
land.
true. I think it
Of
is
course,
true.
it's not true. There are
I think it is true.
both
Okay.
Palestinians and Jews have been living there continuously for literally thousands of years. Right? The idea that
Right.
the people who have been praying at the Kotel for literally 3,000 plus years, the idea that the people who have been praying at the Al-Aqsa for literally 1,600 years, that they don't have a right to do that, is just on its face absurd. Of course, there are rights to the land.
So
I think
mean,
that
I don't want to get
both parties can claim that they have a right to the land, and I don't think that one supersedes the other. So I'm not concerned with
That's-
who has
okay,
the right.
so-
Saying
Hold
that
on.
neither supersedes the other is different than saying that neither one of them have a
Well,
right
the
to
question
land.
that he asked me was who has a right to the land, and I think that saying,
To
well,
which
they
you can
both
just
have a
simply
right to
say-
it is
Right,
a
to which you
non-answer,
can
and that's
simply
what
say-
he
okay,
wanted
no,
me
it's
to
not a
stake out an
non-answer.
extreme
It's not a
position.
non-answer. It's not a non-answer because to say that Jews and Muslims
Look
have
on
a
his
right
face
to
right now.
pray-
He knows that when I
to
said
say-
that he wanted me to
say-
stake out an extreme position, that is the fact, and so that's
s-
why I
to
said
say-
I disagree with
to
the
say-
question.
I'm
Okay.
an ANCAP.
say-
It's
to
cool.
say
I don't
that-
need you to take the extreme position. I got that.
To
It's-
say
it's
that
chill.
both Jews and Muslims have a right to pray in Jerusalem, and also Christians, by the way, have a right to pray in Jerusalem, is not an extreme position. Number one, and number two, it's
Okay.
not something that is.
But that's
is
what I
like-
said.
like it
I
is
said
context.
I
It
said
is a
that is a
relevant
not
component
that is not
of-
an extreme
of the
position.
thing. There
That's
are
not
lots
the
of
fucking.
people-
That doesn't matter.
there
Okay,
are
I
lots of
agree. I fucking agree that they fucking can
But the-
pray
but
at
the
whatever
point is-
fucking church they want to go to. Move
No,
on.
It's not, no, because okay,
Semantics.
that is
I don't give a
particular
shit.
Site. No, it matters. There's a particular site, right? There are lots of Jews who literally want to rebuild a new temple, right? Literally want to take down Al-Aqsa. There are lots of people who are Muslims who literally want to stop Jews from being able to pray at the Kotel, right? The idea that this is not a site that matters immensely to both Jews and Muslims.
Yes,
the
it
idea that this
matters
isn't a
immensely
site
to both.
that both have a right
Oh
to
my
is
God,
on
just
its face
steelman him
absurd.
for fuck's sake. He was saying that the people who don't want to fight should be able to fucking lead. That's pretty much what he said. And then he said, let
And
the
everybody
fucking
shut
assholes.
I derailed
let the
because it
assholes
just
sort
wasn't an
themselves
answer.
out. That's what he
Yes.
fucking
I was just
said.
like,
Yes,
Okay.
let the assholes sort
Cool.
themselves out.
Okay, maybe I interject. I think there are basically four main arguments here in terms of like the first half of the question.
You know
Which
I'm
is
gonna
like,
fucking
who
shit on
has-
whatever you say.
That's cool. That's fine. If you're capable. It seems to me that there's kind of like four main ideas or concepts. Obviously, there's subcategories of like how a group, a collective, or an individual has a right to land. So I would say that there's the ethnic argument, right? Which often, if we look at DNA evidence and things of that nature, what we will find is that the Sephardic Jews are the most likely to be related to the individuals that were ethnically cleansed by the Romans, followed by Palestinian Arabs, followed by European Jews, right? So if you're making an ethnic kind of argument, then the Zionists that come through in the early 1900s are likely, at least in that regard, slightly less deserving, if you will, from that means of property establishment than the local Palestinian Arabs, but not necessarily the Palestinian Jews, right? These genetically, if you will, would have the most.
Do you believe in
ties to the
reparations
land.
for Black people?
Dude, that was
I
like
believe in-
one of the first 4 fucking arguments. But dude, can you just lay out the arguments
Yeah, I'll
instead
be
of
quick.
describing them?
I'll be quick on the third one. Right. So, and then I would say the second is religious, right? I kind of dismiss with this because it's not intersubjective. Then there would be the British mandate, right? If we're talking about political power, because Palestinian Arabs never had political power in the region until the British mandate, and they're never actually given any control until 95 in Oslo. And then lastly, I would say private property establishment through homesteading. And I think the Zionists probably have the strongest claim on the homesteading, at least against the idea of to the sea. And so, I mean, if we look at those 4 categories, I don't really see how you come across, unless you're making like an ethnic collectivist argument that like a very ethno-nationalist argument, if you will, that like Palestinian people have a greater right to Assyria, Palestine, than the Jews do. So I am curious as to the people that seem to lean in that degree, where they're deriving that opinion from, because I think it's kind of an open and shut case that, at least in some degree, both the Jews and the Palestinian Arabs, and maybe the dynasty in Jordan, you know, if depending on how you look at it, have a right to the land.
Just to be
Does
clear,
anybody
just-
here think that? Does
just
anybody
out
here
of-
think
What,
Go
think
on.
that they all have a right to the land based off
No,
of
no,
ethno-religious claims?
the Palestinians have the better right to the land? Does anybody here think that?
No.
I didn't hear anybody say that.
Well, not based on
Yeah, that's
ethnicity,
fine.
but 700,000 Palestinians were expelled after the 48 war, right? So like they have pretty close ties to the property they lost.
Well, here's what I
Right?
would say: if we're talking about the
Mhm, yeah.
Palestinians as an entity versus the Zionist project as an entity, sort of trivially so, but we're not dealing with those, and we're talking about what to deal with millions of actual people on the ground with families and so on and so forth. Like, we're not talking about an abstract question of which team gets to plant the flag. There are greater stakes than that.
Well, I mean, if we're talking about 2-state or 3-state solution and drawing borders, right, and one of the groups, right, the PLO or the Palestinian Arabs have this policy of rejecting whatever is put forward and refusing to govern themselves for 86 years. I do think it somewhat matters to a certain degree, establishing an idea that there is a right to the land upon multiple different forms of argumentation to both groups and specifically in areas that make sense to that, right? The kind of coastal and northern regions, if you're taking a more homesteading position.
I mean, there's two
Ultimately,
arguments to that.
I
Like
would
the
say
two,
it's
so
individual.
80.
The argument when it comes to-
hold on, stop. I want to hear Loner Box for a moment because he has not been spoken up a little bit, so I want to hear him for a little bit.
so
To be fair,
the
I thought
argument people
President
make
Sunny
for
was gonna-
the argument people make for Palestinians having a right to be there is not because of like ethnicity. It's because of the fact that 7 million of them in the diaspora, just less than 100 miles away from Israel and Palestine, were kicked out of their homes from 48, 67, and so on. And then their descendants, their kids and their grandkids, have grown up as refugees, and that refugee crisis has never been solved. And it's not a question of like innate right to the land or ethnicity or religion or anything. It's about human rights and refugees having a human right either to return or to get compensation and reparations. The second thing you said,
I'm not. Hold on. I'm
don't know
not
what
making
to
that
clarify.
argument though, right? Like
Yeah,
I'm not making the
yeah.
argument that it is an ethnic argument. I'm saying, of all of the different political factions, there seem to be these kind of 4 arguments, right? So, like the more ethno-nationalists or civic nationalists or maybe even the Nazis, right? Like they may make these ethnic arguments, as you will also see from the very, very far left.
Yeah,
that's
maybe, but
okay
I'm just
that that's,
saying.
like,
But I'm
not
just saying
yours.
that.
Like, that's chill.
Yeah, but
It's
I'm
not
just saying.
mine
I think
either.
like the steel-manned left-wing argument of right of return is a human right for refugees, and people can debate over whether or not generational right of return should apply to refugees. It tends to not, but it does for Palestinians because their refugee crisis was never solved. There's still refugees in Lebanon, Jordan, etc. So that's just like
Or
the
the
best
Jews.
steel man can give.
Or the Jews,
What you
right?
also
their refugee crisis was
Right,
never
but the
solved.
Jews also wasn't solved, clearly.
Well, it
Right?
was. They
It's
got
just
what
not
the-
like all of Europe, but also
No,
all
the
of Middle
Jewish.
East and
Well,
all of
no, the
North
Jewish
Africa.
exodus. Wait, they have citizenship. Yeah, they have citizenship in Israel. Yes, that refugee crisis was solved. They have citizenship in Israel.
Right, but that's my point.
The Palestinian
The point
refugees
is that,
don't
like,
have. Yeah.
Yeah, so therefore, that is okay. Yeah, I understand.
So that's why you would say that Mizrahijos don't have a right to go back to Iraq and take up land there because they're not refugees anymore. That's the difference. When it comes to the second thing, I think you said, Fabian, about, did you say that the PLO or the Fatah have rejected every peace proposal? What did you say there?
I think
Well,
you
obviously,
said the Palestinians
PLO
haven't governed
didn't-
themselves in 86 years.
No, before
obviously,
that.
Obviously, I wouldn't say that the PLO or the PA. I said Palestinian Arabs, right? Because they weren't in charge during the Peel Commission in 37, right? Like, so obviously, like, PLO isn't responsible for shit that occurred before they existed. But yeah, I would say, there's a pattern of rejectionism, right? That you might call it, of every 2-state or 3-state solution that is brought to the leadership of Palestinians, saying, you're going to get, here's your land, here's our land. We're going to have joint control over Jerusalem, which is what was offered in 47 and in 37. And I believe again in May, I can't remember if it was in the 2019 deal or not, or that was like up for negotiation in the 2019 deal, right? But, but we have 66, right? Like it is over and over and over again rejected unless the Jews, go to the sea. Like fucking, we refuse to recognize you as a nation. And it's like,
so
yeah,
Oslo
like,
was
problem.
Oslo was accepted by the PLO. Taba was accepted by the PLO. Taba 2001 accepted by the PLO, rejected by Sharon. Arab Peace Initiative was embraced by the PLO, rejected by Sharon. The Roadmap to Peace accepted by the PLO, rejected by Sharon. Geneva, same thing, and actually that had popular support on both sides. So like the Israeli right have absolutely had their role to play in that as well. Their whole goal of Likud has been to reject peace. They've fought against it since they were formed in the 70s, even before then, when they were a terrorist org, right? Yeah.
I'm not making the argument that Israel is like a fucking angel here, right? Like fuck nation states in general, right? But I mean, there isn't, I wouldn't say a consistent pattern from all of the leadership of Israel to reject all state solutions. There is from the Palestinian.
What?
But no, there isn't. Like the early 2000s was the pattern of rejection was on Israel's. It's just because you said pattern of rejection on Palestine's end. I'm just saying there have been times when Palestinian leadership has been more open to a negotiated deal than Israel's.
There have been times where they've sat down,
like more recently.
And said, I mean, sure. And then we could also say like the 2000 deal was that the first or the second Camp David? I think it's first,
Camp David, second one.
Second, thank you. We could say that they probably would have hammered out a deal if there hadn't been far right Israeli, demonstrations where Palestinians were throwing rocks and then riots and then and then violence ensued. You know what I mean? Like that could have been completely there. What I'm saying is that it's not like a deal hasn't been put forward multiple times and there have been these quibbles and quibbles over coffee here, right? That are unnecessary to the point where accept the fucking deal and fight for more rights later, but why the fuck haven't we set up a 2-state solution in this period of time? And it's not because Israel won't let it happen.
So what are you saying?
Except that there are like 3 or 4 deals where that has been the case, but yeah, sorry.
So are you saying that to say that like Palestine is the worst of them and they should lose in whatever deal is now made?
Not Palestine.
Like, what is your position?
Hamas
I'm not a
and the
consequentialist,
PLO,
so like I wouldn't say that like one is.
What
worse
is
than
your
the other,
position
right?
though? What is your position
in regards
it's
to
the
what?
it's the private prop. Hold on, it's the private property homesteading. We know that that's going to be the answer.
Well,
basically, if you use the land, if you develop the land, you have ownership.
Wait a sec. Hang on though. Fabian, are you seriously contending that the Zionist project involved homesteading and not mass purchasing of appropriated, essentially peasant communally used land that they were then expelled from?
I would say that it's a ton of homesteading. Yeah, that's not even controversial if you just look at the fucking map.
That's incredibly controversial.
Yeah. If you're like a retard online leftist, but like,
stop.
Are you going to interrupt me, Food Shops, every single time I speak?
Wait. No. It seems like Lauren wants to speak up for a moment
but
now.
I was in the middle of saying something, and then you just
okay. Look. Hold on, real quick.
All 3 of you guys were talking. All 3 of you guys were talking at the same time.
No, I was talking actually.
Okay,
Go ahead,
yes,
President
all
Sunday.
three of you guys were interrupting each other at the same time. But after Lauren gives her piece, then President Sunday, you can talk. Is that okay?
But
Oh,
why?
he's tried to
haven't even
rebut
had
me
a single
twice.
back and forth yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
fine.
feel like
Fine.
it's
How,
President Sunday.
how about this? President Sunday, you can go first, and then Lauren De Laguna can go next.
How about
All
I
right?
go first? He can respond, and then Lauren can go.
Okay, fine. Then you can go first, then Fabian can go next, and then Lauren De Laguna can go next, okay? Go. Okay, go. Yeah.
Yeah. The reason why organizations like the what was the actual name of it called? The Jewish Palestinian Colonization Association or whatever. The reason why these organizations were buying large portions of land is precisely because that's where the land was. It
Who are they
wasn't
buying it
Zarahova.
from?
They were buying it from wealthy Palestinians who, in the wake of Ottoman land reforms, had appropriated large swaths of land and then sold it from under the peasants' feet.
So interestingly enough, right? Like, was there not a large movement of people to take swampland that was unarable and unused and required massive amounts of labor to then turn that land into productive farmland during the Zionist
It was
movement?
both.
Is that
It
true
was,
or
so
false?
they
It was
so
both.
there was homesteading, and there was also where they bought land, but
Right, but
that
his
land
contention
was
is that
lived
there
on
is
by-
no homesteading.
Your
he's
contention
saying-
is that no, hang on. You're only mentioning homesteading to whitewash what actually took place when they moved the Palestinians off of their land.
Whoa.
Otherwise, there's no
I'm not
purpose for you saying that.
whitewashing. Hold on, pause. At
Whitewashing,
what point
it's-
am I whitewashing saying like that Israel? Like I have no problem saying that like certain militia groups and offshoots of militia groups have
We're not
done
even talking about militia
horrible
groups.
things during the Zionist movement, right? But the idea initially,
No,
as
but
I
you're-
said,
you're
that
attributing
homesteading
that to
is the
post-Balfour.
strongest.
Wait,
I'm saying
I'm gonna have to stop
homesteading
you
is
there.
the strongest claim to
Okay.
land. Period.
Stop now. I'm gonna have to
Not
stop
the
you right there.
only one.
Lauren De Laguna, go.
I just had a question for Loner Box. I was just wondering what peace agreements Israel rejected.
Taba, 2001, Arab Peace Initiative, 2002, Geneva, 2003, Roadmap to Peace. I can give you I can give you the reasonings why they failed in Israel's end if you want.
Yeah. Go for it.
So I think Taba was actually probably the closest one to going through, apart from Ehud Barak lost an election to Sharon. Sharon was not interested in peace, so he abandoned it. Same thing with Clinton getting switched over for Bush. Roadmap to peace, one of the demands of Israel was that they freeze settlement expansion to allow the land swaps to be debated. Sharon said no because too many settlers were having families. And he made a joke about how it would basically mean having to make the settlers have abortions. The Arab Peace Initiative, I think that was just rejected flat out as a non-starter by Sharon. And Geneva was supported by Israeli liberals and by Fatah, but again, Sharon said that the liberals who were behind it were acting behind Israelis' back, almost like accusing them of being traitors.
Thanks.
I'm just saying, if we're talking about obstacles to peace, you can obviously make the claim that as soon as Hamas were born in '87, they used a lot of violence and a lot of
Yeah, I think it's difficult.
counter propaganda to try and push against that from their end. They even even a lot of more pro peace people had their lives threatened for
I
that.
think it's-
And the same thing in Israel was that you've always had the right wingers who just never stopped expanding settlements. Even when Israel did have one leader who was very pro peace, Rabin, when he put through the Oslo Accords, there were mass protests against him led by the right wing. One of whom was Netanyahu. He led marches calling for Rabin's death and carrying fucking fake coffins and nooses behind them. And then in that environment of toxicity, Rabin got assassinated. So the far right and the right wing of both sides have hindered peace
think
all the way throughout.
All right,
There's just this
pause.
myth that Israelis
Pause.
I
tried
think
to
it's
push
worth-
Rabin.
Every
Palestinians said no, right?
political protest
I
has
think it's worth
wild shit
flagging.
in it,
I
right?
think
Like, I mean, like
politically,
even when
I think it's worth-
Obama got
I think
elected,
it's-
there was like nooses
it's-
and shit everywhere from the Tea Party. Like, relax.
I think it's worth flagging that the second Intifada was during the Taba talks, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the idea that it's like Israel that was at fault for the downfall of the Taba talks when it was in the midst of the second Intifada is a little silly, right?
Oslo was born right out of the first Intifada.
Okay, but
what?
the idea that like you're gonna blame Israel for peace talks falling apart during an Intifada is a little silly, right?
I mean, when you have Israeli liberals who are willing to pursue it, Barak was willing to pursue it.
Yes,
Why-
there were
answer,
people
man.
who were
Like, come on.
Barak
were
was
people
wait,
who
what?
were-
So do you think Barak was in the wrong for trying to negotiate Taba then?
Of course not. I think that it's worth.
Okay, well
even
he
in a
was
time
involved
of
in
war-
it before it
I
fell
think
apart. I
if-
mean,
I think it's worth, even in a time where there are massive attacks and massive terrorist attacks specifically against your country, to try to figure out a way to negotiate, not with the terrorists directly, but with the PLO, who obviously are complicated, right? Not directly the same. I think it's worth making those talks, but to say that those talks are falling apart and that's on the that's at the fault of the people who were not responsible for the terrorist attacks, I think is a little bit silly.
well, it's also the people who were hamstringing the peace process all the way throughout the 90s as well, because that's what Sharon was doing throughout that whole time. And it's
Okay.
also as if, like, you can't.
Okay,
I don't know
hold
why
on,
you're
hold on.
why you're suggesting this
Are
though,
you
because
saying-
like apartheid.
blaming-
If we look at apartheid South Africa, the violence never stopped until apartheid ended. There was always violence
Okay.
going on. It was never
What's frustrating
paused
Still hasn't
when
ended.
you're
for
when you're
negotiations.
pointing, I just think that I think it's frustrating to blame Israel for the falling of the talks of Taba, right? Because there's this broader context of like, oh, you don't like what Israel's doing writ large, even though in the moment you recognize that in the moment, obviously, the Intifada itself, the second Intifada in itself, is something that's clearly not on Israel.
So
It's
maybe
difficult to say that individual negotiation falling apart is on Israel's hands because of a broader issue that you have with what Israel's doing writ large, rather than what they're doing in relationship to those talks. Does that make sense?
So maybe
but if we go by-
you weren't. So maybe you weren't listening when I said Hamas held their share of the blame for that as well. Because yes, it does make it harder to sustain peace talks when Hamas are literally fucking sending suicide bombers into Israel. Yes, I said that. I don't know why you would suggest that Sharon was without blame here. Sharon opposed peace from day one. He came in and rejected every peace proposal that
think
came
that
towards him.
It's difficult to put this like cut and dry on the Israelis and say
Will
this
one
is
of you
on
guys
this
say
is
the
job,
magical
this is fault
left-wing
of
word
Wait,
context and
moderator,
nuance?
wait, moderator. Lauren hasn't spoken.
I mean, you haven't spoken
mean,
on
I
this one
haven't.
either. So
But
to be fair,
I was just trying to read through some of the examples and why it was falling apart. It looked like for
I have something to say about what Quibbles was saying.
go ahead. Go.
If that is the logic we're going by, then any force can occupy another country and put them in concentration camps, and then eventually they'll start doing atrocities. And then
That's
once
not
they
what I
start
said.
doing that, then you can justify whatever treatment of them you want.
Yeah, that's not what I said. What I'm
so-
saying is
and-
that
but
to
that is the
blame
extension.
Israel.
No,
Okay,
it's not.
if you have a if
Yes,
you
it
have a
is.
Straw
problem.
man.
Okay, so here's
I think it
here's
is.
the issue.
I don't know. Wait, before
If
you
you
even
have a-
say it, I don't know. You're about to start saying I was blaming Israel again. I'm saying that like Hamas held their fucking share of the blame as well. Even people in the PLO
Right.
held
No,
their share of the blame for
I'm not-
launching their attacks.
hold on, to
And I'm
clarify.
just saying, it's just a
But the
counter
way
to
that you
people saying that
clarified it, I have no-
Palestinians
I
have
have no qualms
rejected
with the way
every
that you
peace proposal
clarified
that
it.
came their way. Okay,
Yeah,
thanks.
I have no qualms with the way that you clarified it. I do have qualms with the idea that like if you don't agree with the way that Israel is handling itself writ large, that doesn't mean that you can blame Israel for every individual case of negotiations falling apart and any individual case of Israel in good faith trying to change the circumstances. Right? In the case of Taba, the reason that fell apart is not on Israel. It is primarily the case of that individual negotiation falling apart on the Second Intifada, which is to say, not on Israel. Right?
No, I think it was on Sharon for abandoning the talks.
I mean, we can.
But
like,
why
I mean,
did he-
This seems
Okay,
like
why
way
were the
too
talks
into the
with
weeds.
people
This is way
either?
too into the weeds about.
It's
an
not
example,
too
right?
into the weeds.
No, it
The
The Second
absolutely
Intifada
is.
is not. it's not
You're quibbling over
this is a
bullshit. All right,
massive-
true to your name.
This is a
Like
massive
the
terrorist-
idea. No, it's not. It's listen,
Okay, go for it.
listen, because you both are going back and forth in circles. Look, I said that there's a pattern of rejectionism from the Palestinians. And as a counter to this, he gave a period of time where the pattern was on the other end, where it was Israel that was saying no, no, no. And you're saying, hey, but there's context to this in the fact the Second Intifada, right? Like there's, some riots break out and then all of a sudden you have attacks on both end, predominantly Palestinians, having another one of their holy little fucking crusades of fucking blowing up discotheques, right? And I get what you're saying. This like that's not on Israel, but the problem is that where you're moving in and out between individual people, right? That it absolutely is technically their fault. The buck stops here. And the context of like politics and people and terror and like what is socially acceptable for like your governance that's supposed to represent you during a time of, let's say, a second intifada. Both are valid, but we should move on from it because I think it's just getting.
No, you're right. My contention is just that I think that it's difficult to build a pattern off of cases that are not as clear cut as I think Leonard was attempting to perhaps make them seem. Yeah.
I was just pushing back against the idea that it's always been rejection from Palestinians, but again, okay, it's fine.
Yeah,
I think I clarified.
I get where you're coming from, but simultaneously, it seems like the only of the two groups between Israel and Palestine, it appears as though Israel is really the only one that's in good faith coming to the table with a two-party solution to allow for peace between both states.
Would you say that's true of the last 20 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the last 20 years, they left Gaza.
Not to pursue peace.
Yeah, and then
you think they left Gaza to pursue peace?
Wait, SDL looks like he's about to say something. SDL, go.
Well, I was just saying, and then they built another 20 settlements in the West Bank. Like,
how many settlements? Yeah, how many settlers left Gaza? 9,000. The settler population in the West Bank went up by 13,000. You think that was like good faith? You think it was an effort for peace? Why did they? That was unilateral. They didn't negotiate with anyone.
Okay. When we're talking about peace, do you think that we have to have that conversation? Like, okay, there's sort of two components of that. One component of that is a question of whether or not leaving unilaterally from Gaza is or is not something that is in support of moving towards peace. There's a second question, which I think is a separate question, of whether or not the increasing settlements within the West Bank are or are not moving towards peace. But would you grant that in relationship to Gaza, that is a movement towards peace?
They're attacking the people who live there, dude.
Sorry, Sunday. I would not call that. Why did no one say that? Sharon's speeches about leaving Gaza had nothing to do with peace. It was to do with demographics. They didn't want to govern a place that was like 95+% Palestinian.
Okay, so they don't want to govern.
Where there was terror violence. It had nothing to do with trying to achieve peace. Why would you try? Why would it be? Why would it be an aid of trying to? No, wait. Why would it?
Gaza. They don't want to govern Gaza, which is to say, do they want to govern Gaza?
As in, they don't want. They would expect the PA to govern Gaza, but again, they don't want to like give Gaza. They don't want to make it a state, though.
Which is to say that they are giving, right, unilaterally more control to the PA. Which is to say that they're giving more control unilaterally to more legitimacy, more of an ability to have an independent country, more of an ability to have genuine independence to the Palestinians. Yes.
Look, I can tell you just riffing it now, because everyone for the last 30 years has agreed that expansion of settlements in the West Bank is the biggest obstacle to peace.
Fine.
If they were coming out of Gaza to try and lead to peace, why would they build more settlements than they lost in Gaza in the same year?
We can have the conversation in relationship to the West Bank,
but
I want to have the conversation first in relationship to Gaza, right? In relation to Gaza, was that a motion?
No, you're making it up as you go. He called it.
But I want to have this conversation.
That is statement toward.
Do you think they were expecting Gaza to form a breakaway state separate from the West Bank?
I think that they were trying.
That's the only way your argument makes sense.
I think they were trying to give more control to the independence of Gaza. Yes, of course.
So you can actually read their statements for why they did it. They did it because Gaza was demographically never going to shift in favor of Israel, not even close. And they were worried that Palestinian struggle was going to change from wanting self-determination into wanting one person, one vote from the river to the sea. That's why they disengaged from Gaza. It's because it basically made the one person, one vote argument impossible to hold on to.
Look, Quibbles, they pulled out of Gaza, and again, I'm ostensibly leaning towards the pro-Israel side here, hilariously enough. But the next thing they did is funded fucking Hamas. like the next thing they
Yeah,
did
I'm not-
is try and fucking create strife in the
I'm not
Palestinian
here to-
Authority and the
I'm
PLO
not
by
here defending
funding
Likud.
fucking Islamists right after they pulled
I'm
out
not
of the
here.
area.
I'm not
which,
about to
like,
defend Likud or BA.
right. So
Of
this
course not.
okay, yeah, but you're saying that this is a move towards peace to move out. Like
I'm
only
saying
in
that-
only in like some weird like technical scenario is it, because their motivations
if
aren't
our
that way
goal-
and the consequences aren't that way. So like that's a silly conversation
If
to
our
have when you
goal-
kept saying I'm
Can
gonna
I-
have that conversation.
Instead of telling you what I think should happen, can I just tell you what I think is gonna happen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that like the third topic or whatever? Fuck it,
Again.
whatever.
Yeah. So what I think is going to
Is
happen.
Israel going to annex
is-
Gaza?
Yeah.
Okay, cool,
So-
thanks. Let's move on.
You're welcome. So Israel is going to do a ground invasion of Gaza. They're probably, if international pressure is strong enough, they're not going to be able to demographically expel every single Gazan Palestinian. They're going to militarily occupy for the next 30 years. They're going to force their sympathetic government onto it. And then the only thing that's going to be possible is some kind of negotiated settlement in the West Bank. That's it. You done throwing a pity party, President Sunday?
No, I'm just absorbing.
Well, it's over.
No, damn.
Why is everyone so quiet on this panel?
I think a lot of us want to have different
make space for
conversations
people.
than each other.
Well, I think it's because we shifted from the moral conversation. I think about like,
Right.
did this side were they the bad negotiator? Does that mean they deserve a little ethnic cleansing? To like what's
Yeah.
going to happen,
Wait,
which is
when
a
did
non-moral
anyone say that they
conversation.
deserve ethnic cleansing? What are you talking
That's
about?
not. He's
No
going to
one
an
has said
extreme.
that.
He's going to an extreme. But the general gist
No, he's
is
not
when
going to
we're
an
arguing.
extreme.
No,
He's
let
lying.
me just say something and then tell me when I'm wrong. Like, so I think that the feeling I'm getting is when we're arguing about who is more reasonable, who is like more bringing more to the table, more good faith to the peace negotiations. It's like we're saying who deserves who deserves to be listened to more, who is more worthy of our support. But like I think in the end of the day, like we can't look back, we can only look to the future, and that's why like I'm more interested in saying what can they do, what should we focus
Well, I
on,
think
what
that's-
should we support?
Quibbles.
So yeah, the answer to that is quite
Quibbles.
simple. What's up?
So, if Israel didn't have pressure from the international community, do you think that they would expel every single Gazan into Egypt?
No. I think if realistically, this is going to sound awful, but realistically, if they wanted to do that, they could get away with it on the international stage. Now, would it be
I
difficult for them for the next 4 years? Absolutely. But would they be able to move forward? Yes. The truth
Why
is that
4
America
years?
needs them. 4 to 10, whatever it is. I'm making up 4. The reality is
Okay.
that at the end of the day, I don't think that the international community actually cares about the Palestinians at all. I think that the truth is that Saudi Arabia cares a little bit, that Iran cares a little bit, but I don't think that they care enough that they're going to stop ultimately working towards a negotiation and relationship with Israel.
I think it's going to be
Long time.
really hard for the United States and Israel to claim some kind of moral legitimacy if they effectively participate in an ethnocide.
That's different than a question of whether or not Israel could get away with it. It would be difficult once Israel got away with it, I think it would take, like, in order for their hands to be seen as clean, it would take a long time. But that's different than whether or not they would be able to get away with
I'm
it.
asking if they could be free from consequence. And so this is why I disagree with you, because I think if Israel could be free from consequence, they would literally just take all of it. They would take the West Bank up to the fucking river. They would take Gaza. They would expel all the Arab Muslims, except for the ones who are willing to be the 20% of people who are willing to go along to get along. They would get rid of fucking everybody. So now it's just a question
I think that's a
of the
difficult,
slow
I think that's a
rolling
difficult
expansion.
claim. I think that's a difficult claim to make. I think it is a very easy claim
Why?
to make in relationship to Hamas, that Hamas absolutely would do that against the Jews, not
Why
just
would
in Israel, but worldwide.
Why would Israel want to keep
Israel-
Gaza
Wait, hold on.
civilians?
Before we move forward, do you grant that it's not a difficult question at all in relationship to Hamas?
Yeah, sure. Fuck Hamas.
Quite easy for both
Okay.
of them, though, right?
It's not at all a difficult question in relationship to Hamas. It is something that has actually happened across the rest of the Middle East. It is something that has actually happened across much of Europe. It is something that has actually happened across most of North Africa, right? To the
What?
Jews. Ethnic
Right.
cleansing of the Jews.
Yeah, but okay, but
But we're just asking
you're
you why-
comparing.
Why do you
So
think
when you're
Israel would
asking this-
not
so
do the
hold on,
same?
Hold on. When you're
If they
asking,
could.
hold on. If I can finish
hold
answering
Wait,
the
let
question.
Sunny
Let me
speak.
get real
Wait, let
specific.
Sunny speak.
If you're
Let Sunny
asking
speak.
the question, if you're asking the question of what Jews
Hold on,
would do
new
if they had full control, I think that that's something that is a reasonable question, and the international stage is a component of it. But the truth is that the Palestinian and the Muslim population within that area has increased since Israel became a country, whereas the Jewish population
Quibbles, finish quickly.
everywhere
Quibbles,
else
finish
in the Middle
quickly.
East has decreased considerably.
Quibbles, finish quickly.
Okay.
Sunny, speak.
I did.
No, move
Go
on.
for it,
It's
Sunday.
okay. It's fine.
Okay.
I'll ask you
Sunday,
that. Like,
are you getting fucking brain damage or some shit? What's your fucking problem? You signed up for a
He's
fucking
getting
panel.
demoralized.
Quibbles, if you're
Hold on.
saying that,
This is my real fucking beef. Sunday, every single time you show up to have a conversation with another person with an IQ over 80, you act like you're tired and bored and have someplace else to be, but then you show up for the next interaction. So why don't you actually engage with the conversations that are put in front of you?
Were you over 80?
Oh my god.
What?
Meta.
Okay.
No, he's so much smarter than everybody else. I want to hear what the fuck he has to say. Come on, buddy.
What?
Enlighten us.
He
Everybody else is
rambled on.
stupid.
It's
Everybody
almost
else is boring. Please enlighten us. I'm down here to receive the wisdom of President Sunday. Everybody else is a fucking idiot. We're boring you. We're wasting your time. I am here to learn. President Sunday, I'm sitting my white ass down and I am listening.
Right?
Please
You're
tell
not,
me.
You're not that mad that you couldn't successfully deplatform me because Food Shops is proving that trans girls
don't
have bigger
distract.
balls
I
than
wanna hear.
leftist cis men.
No,
Dude,
like,
I want to
come
hear
on.
the
Nobody-
3,000
nobody-
IQ
nobody-
take.
I want to hear
Saving him.
Points
your
only,
Saving him,
points only.
Fabian.
Let's go back to the topic. All right, SDL wants to talk.
President
Yeah,
Sunday, what's your view?
I mistook you for Ted Kaczynski for a second, so my critique doesn't apply.
So Quibbles,
Dodge.
What
was the point of going down the argument of who would do the full ethnic cleansing of the other side?
Oh, I think that the point is that the status quo is awful. And there are lots of ways, I was saying at the beginning of this, there are a lot of ways that I can think of. We're at a 10 to get to a 15. And there are very few ways that I can,
Stop
there's no
the
way I can
numbers.
think of.
Your scale makes no sense.
5. Okay. We're at, it's
Make
really
it a 1 to
shitty,
10
okay?
scale if you're going to use a
We
fucking
get the point.
scale.
Just please move on.
The point is, it's really shitty. We can get it to be even more shitty.
15,
it's very difficult to make it
9.5?
de-shitted,
7 to
but we
10.
can make it from really shitty to be like very shitty, right? And so the point is
Solid 5
that
out of 7.
right now, the really shitty situation that we're in is less shitty than what Jews have gone through anywhere else in the rest of the Middle East. That's my point,
Yeah.
right? And
Okay,
so
wait,
if we're talking about,
and-
if that's the context,
Wait, Quibbles, for the
And so
love of
and-
God, condense your paragraphs to 10 words.
okay, I will.
Okay,
a lot
please.
of nothing is what
Give
we're
me a
saying.
moment to cleanse. and condense.
Quibbles.
I'm cleansing to condense.
Do you
okay.
see how I said 10 quibbles when I could have just said 1 quibble?
I'm sorry. Yes.
All right, thank you. Okay. All right. How about this? Let's move on to the second question. Okay? How about
But
that?
I finished. I was going to answer that.
Yeah, let him go if you don't.
The answer is that I think that the status quo is horrible, but the idea of Hamas being in control is obviously on its face considerably worse.
Okay,
Yes.
well, that is for sure. But because they would be obviously from how they're engaging now, they'd be like way more tyrannical. But I think that the reason that it is like you said, like if you imagine like if Israel could do whatever they want, like Connor said, I agree that they would probably just take over the whole thing, and obviously Hamas would do that too. It's more obvious, like you said, that Hamas would just do whatever they want. But I think it's by design that Israel is doing everything smart. They're doing everything diplomatically.
The point is that
They're not going to give the impression because they're
Yes,
smarter.
a nation state plans their actions.
The point is that Israel can.
Thanks for that input.
The point is that
They've been.
the point is
pretty
that Israel.
explicitly- Go ahead.
Israel can do whatever it wants right now. It
Hey,
isn't
Israel.
doing whatever it wants, right?
No.
And we're assuming that it
Because of
wants to do these
international
other
pressure.
things, but because it's actually able to be pressured by an international force, whereas something like the Taliban, as we've seen, or something like Hamas cannot.
Okay.
well,
that's
let's say
fair.
let's say if over 1 million Palestinians fled the Gaza Strip, and let's say they managed to escape to Egypt, and Israel's occupying Gaza with significantly less people there now, do you think they would allow those refugees to return to Gaza? I think we all know they wouldn't, right?
No,
I think, yeah,
is the answer.
I think that it depends. I think the answer is it depends.
Okay,
on
the second question. So now that we know the very obvious answer to that question, the second one is
depends on the time
okay.
scale. If they were there for 10 years, the answer is no. If they were there for 2 months, the answer is probably they would be
like it was the case in the previous wars where Palestinians were kicked out.
I don't think that we're in the
Okay,
same
we'll go on to the
situation
next
today
one.
on
So
international
when it comes to the
scale. I don't think that,
when it
wait, hold
comes
up, let me
to
answer.
Quibbles,
I don't think we're in the same
condense!
situation. We're not in the same.
okay.
I'm condensing.
Condense
We're
your
not in
milk
the same
for your
situation today as we were in 67 or 48.
Sure,
That's
but
So
you
it's
just
less than
pointed to those.
100%
You
this time.
just
Yeah,
pointed
yeah.
to those examples to prove how bad it is. Like you
in
just used those-
relationship to Israel.
I'll
I
just
don't
ask
think
the
that
next.
Israel's in the same
I'll just
situation.
ask the next
absolutely
part.
think that Afghanistan is in the
Quibbles.
same
Do
situation.
everyone,
If
do
you're-
everyone a favor and like go to the bathroom, grab some beard trimmers, clean up, and come back after you're a little calmer. All right.
I thought his
So-
You
beard
can
looked
look how he
alright.
looks.
to
It's
there.
fine. It's all.
I was going to do the second half of my
is telling
question.
you to chill the fuck out.
I'm chill.
I was going to
Okay.
do. I was going to say, now that we knew that with Gaza, if with the West Bank, we know they don't have any intention to allow this to become a state. That's why they keep expanding settlements. So why do you think that if they could, they would just get all the Palestinians out of Gaza and annex it? No. What else is their plan?
The answer is yes.
Yeah. Okay.
No, the answer is not entirely yes, because I think that they've also made an effort to try to give Gaza back to Egypt, which repeatedly Egypt has said no to.
And the
So
West
that
Bank?
seems to be a solution
President
that's
Sunday,
very-
go. I want to hear what you have
The
to
answer
say.
is
Go
not
right now.
clearly yes.
He's got a
because-
thought right now.
Wait,
No,
Quibbles,
okay. Oh.
Quibbles.
I just
President
got
said
paid. I just got paid $150 to leave.
I just
Do
I-
it.
No, he didn't. He got paid $20.
No, I got paid 150
And it says
in total. I've got a
excise our
theory meter.
souls of this panel. That's all it says. And then
Oh,
Yeah, but that's after
Yeah.
a 49 one. And
$49 doesn't say
I've got a really
anything.
cool. I've got a really cool system on my stream. I've got it called a theory meter. So if I hit $100 American, then I got to go to theory. Is what it is.
He's a
I was
true
hoping-
leftist.
I was hoping. I was hoping I could square the circle and I could stay here, but alas.
I think you're just being a little puss.
oh.
Gee,
Ooh,
wonder
low
who
blow.
just joined recently.
I actually paid myself. I'm running from Stardust in particular.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, what are your
Okay.
thoughts?
My thoughts.
Say
I
live
actually came in the middle of
Fuck
this
up. No,
conversation.
hold the fuck on. Stardust. Fuck that. Fucking Sunday
What?
is a fucking pussy.
Oh
Oh my
Goddamn
God,
fucking
Meta!
coward.
Please.
No. SDL, fuck this. I've seen half a dozen Sunday dramas, and every single one of them is him acting fucking better than every single person that he's fucking talking to, yawning, whining, saying, "Oh, you called me. What do you want to talk about?" And within fucking 8 minutes, he leaves. I get that it's a fucking meme at this point, but it's actually like, why the fuck is this guy invited to fucking anything if he doesn't
I
contribute
honestly
shit?
Ooh.
So counterpoint,
Sunday,
I don't know.
you talk
Yeah.
shit on Twitter and you're a huge pussy in person. Go
I
fuck
agree
yourself,
with
you
you.
fucking
Counterpoint,
coward.
Let's-
counterpoint,
yo,
100%
relax.
agree
Hey.
with you.
Fucking pussy.
Hey.
So wait, let me just get in
No.
here real quick. Counterpoint-
Pussy.
No,
Yes,
real quick,
I
real
agree
quick,
with you.
real quick.
Let me get in.
Why?
Let me get in here real quick.
Why did he
Guys,
try to
I
get me
just got here.
canceled?
I just
If
got
he
here.
wasn't
Let's
gonna
start
debate?
Chill. Okay.
Okay.
Stardust.
Counterpoints, I agree with you because I don't know if you saw my video most recently that I put up, but he was doing the whole fake yawning bullshit, acting like he's disinterested, all of that.
This is just
he
becoming a
fucking
drama panel.
demanded. He fucking demanded me to come talk to him Monday night. I said I'm off on Mondays and I'm not going to waste my time off for you. So we'll talk on Wednesday. We set it up in advance. We show up on Wednesday and then he leaves as soon as he gets the excuse to. It's fucking ridiculous. That's all
hold
I'm
on.
gonna say about
So-
it. But
so
my
SDL.
last thing is everybody should block him on Twitter and make him irrelevant again. That's my point. That's
I'm
it.
100% good with this. And SDL, I'll let it go back to fucking serious topics. I seriously fucking will. But at the same time, the last drama I saw before Stardust was fucking Wick, where he had all this fucking shit to say about how Wick was a piece of shit and he's simping for XYZ, ABC. He's a fucking asshole, blah, blah, blah. He's defending all these fucking trans people, or he's defending Brianna Wu because he's a fucking simp and an asshole and all this kind of bullshit. Fucking, they set up a call. I see this shit on fucking Twitter. They go live and Sunday goes, "What do you want to talk about?" Fuck you, you fucking pussy. Get the fuck out of here. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go block his ass right now. Let's go talk about.
I just think it's funny that he tried to cancel Smith and I on this panel and tried to get rid of us because we're not serious people and I quote shouldn't be allowed to exist as a public entity. End quote.
so fucking
Oh,
weird.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
And then
okay,
dips
so-
out like a
so-
bitch. Like,
Okay, so
Well,
Stardust
okay.
join.
Just a base
Stardust just
businessman,
okay.
okay?
Okay, so Stardust
Epic
just joined.
entrepreneur.
Stardust. Why don't you introduce yourself and tell us your general position on Israel and Palestine?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so hi, I'm Stardust. I'm a semi-political streamer. I do politics, I do debates. I also cover drama and do weird bits that I think are super funny, like screaming and crying in a banana suit. I think that shit is hilarious. There's nothing funnier to me than like a grown person, a grown woman who should be doing better things with her time, sitting in front of a camera screaming and crying in a banana suit. But
peak
regardless,
female comedy.
yes,
Hell yeah.
I like to, yeah, well, you know, you would know what comedy is, wouldn't you? So what I was basically going to say is that yes, I identify as a pro-Palestine person, though I am super sympathetic towards the Israelis, and I'm super sympathetic towards the Palestinians, and I think the recent attacks by Hamas were like unforgivable and unjustifiable, and I've been appalled and sickened by all of what I've seen on Twitter as well as elsewhere in the world immediately following that. But I don't know what the solution is. I don't think somebody proposed going back to like 1967 borders, which is super fucking weird to me. How can you go back to 1967 borders? It's 50 fucking years. Like, no, we're not gonna. I'm sorry. There are people who live in Israel now who know no other life. That's like telling me I was born and raised in America. That's like telling me to go to India because like I'm colonizing your fucking land, right? I'm not going to do it. I have nothing in common with an Indian person in India. I have way more in common with people in America. So you know, I don't think it is a reasonable solution to kick out either one of these people, but I don't know what the solution is. I would hope that one day they can maybe make like a similar like nation of states similar to like United States or like United Kingdom, but you know, I don't know what's going to happen. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Like
Thank
perhaps
you.
some sort of one-state
I've got a
solution.
quick question.
Perhaps a secular
before-
state, but with Jewish values, you know. But
Before you guys start devolving into single-celled organisms, okay? Before you guys start doing that,
I'm at least 3 cells.
I just want to at least 3 cells. That's a bit generous, but anyway, the point is that
2-cell
Feel my
solution.
hair.
two-cell solution. Okay.